Hare Krishna, Namaste.
Chapter 13 is entitled as Kshatrajna Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Vibhaga Yoga, also as Prakriti Purusha Viveka Yoga. Verse 8. Amānitvam adambhitvam ahiṁsā ārjavam ācāryopāsanaṁ śaucaṁ sthairyam ātma-vinigrahaḥ. This chapter 13 is entitled as Kshatrajna Yoga, where it gives the detail about kshetra, the field of activities, that is the body, and kshatrajna, the knower of the field of activities, that is about the Atma. This body, which is made of various elements that we learned from the previous sessions, is occupied by the Jivatma, and the Jivatma gets this body based on its Papa and Punya. And in this body, they go through various experiences, pains and pleasures, plus also they accumulate karma, they get rid of karma, and this same body becomes a tool or an instrument for one to work towards liberation. So the person who understands the purpose behind this body is Kshatrajna. The Atma in the association of the body goes through certain experiences which develop certain qualities, and these qualities becomes an instrument in acquiring knowledge about the self. What we have learned in the previous sessions are more of theory which cannot be practiced. What we have learned is accumulation of knowledge about the body, but what we are going to learn in next 5 slokas are something which can be practiced. So sloka 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12, Krishna speaks about 20 qualities which one can aspire to cultivate, and these qualities will very much help one to further have knowledge about the self and help one in the path of self-realization. In the first sloka of the series of 5 slokas, the 8th sloka, there are 9 qualities being listed. Let's understand this 9 qualities. First, let's see the meaning of these terms and the translation. Amānitvam, humility, meaning not looking down on others, that is putting oneself in a higher position due to certain factors. Amānitvam, pridelessness. Ahiṁsā, nonviolence. kṣāntir, tolerance or forbearance. Ārjavam, simplicity or straightforwardness. ācāryopāsanaṁ, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, devoted to a spiritual master and serving a spiritual master. Śaucaṁ, cleanliness, that is ordained in the Shastra. Sthairyam, steadfastness of mind. ātma-vinigrahaḥ, self-control, that is control of the mind from straying towards material things. So these are the 9: humility, pridelessness, nonviolence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control. Now let's understand each of these qualities. Amānitvam, one who doesn't insult others because of arrogance, of being born in a high-class family, or having great education, not just knowledge, or due to having wealth. These are 3 factors which makes one to be arrogant. Being born in a family, reputed family, makes one to compare themselves with those who are not. Being born in a family, high-class family, or who doesn't have a great education, or one who is poor, one doesn't have wealth. In other words, a person not being proud when he has a reason to be proud of is called amānitvam. Never disrespect anyone, but being very respectful to everyone. That is amānitvam. If this person has any of these things or all of these things, that is good birth, good education, good wealth, this person start thinking more burden rather than trying to think great about himself. Because now that he feels that he is born in a reputed high-class family, he feels more responsible to maintain the family tradition and the culture. If he has greater education, he feels that now he has more responsibility to use that education in a proper manner. And if he has great wealth, then it's going to be a burden for him, because he has to make sure that he utilizes the wealth for the dharmic reasons. If he doesn't do any of these things, he knows very well that he is going to accumulate more papa karma. Therefore, this person is very careful and responsible how to use those things which came due to his previous karma. That's amānitvam. Now the second one is adambhitvam. Dambha, adam, dambha is the practice of dharma aiming to earn some praises from others. That is dambha. In simple language, a person does an activity so that he can be praised by others, and that is dambha. Adambhitvam is opposite of a person does an activity not for name, fame and prestige. He is not into the program of wanting to be satisfied by being honored by others. He is not anxious to get that name or fame from anyone for that matter. Then why does he do any activities? Because that has been prescribed by the Shastra. He does that as a duty. He feels no reason to be proud of what he is doing. He feels it is natural and it's an essential part of his life to perform and practice dharma, which is given in the Shastra. For that reason, he doesn't feel to be recognized, to be honored, nothing. And this quality is called adambhitvam. It's another very important quality that one has to practice. Because nowadays, everything that we do, we want to be appreciated, recognized, honored. But when we come to Bhagavad Gita, it is not what is recommended. Even if for some reason, as a practice, someone appreciates, honors, this person is not influenced or carried away by being honored or appreciated. Why? Because he did not do any of what he has been doing for gaining name, fame and prestige. He did these things as a duty, as it is said in the Shastra. That's all. So, if a person is motivated because of gaining name, fame, prestige, recognition, appreciation, then that is dambha. If a person is performing services free of any of these things, then that quality is called adambhitvam. The third quality is ahiṁsā. Himsa is the tendency to hurt others. Hurt others with either words or action, or even by thoughts. Of course, if we hurt someone by thoughts, the other person is not going to know, but still that is also considered to be himsa, either by thoughts, by words, or by action. If we hurt someone, they are all himsa. The opposite of that is nonviolence, ahiṁsā. The meaning of ahiṁsā is not to put others into a distress condition, and that is called ahiṁsā. If himsa is even for thought, then what to speak about cursing others? It is very dangerous. Therefore, one should not hurt others, not even by thoughts. One should curse others. One may have a practice of hurting themselves. That is also called himsa. One cannot hurt others, for sure. Likewise, one should not hurt themselves as well, because if one does, that is also called as himsa. There is an exception that himsas are allowed. For example, when the doctor performs surgery, he does hurt, but that does not cause harm to the patient. Hence it is not himsa. This hurt, instead of harming the person, does him good by curing him. Likewise, in those days, certain sacrifices were done, ashwamedha yajna and so forth, and that also falls under ahimsa. It is not himsa. Like how the doctor doing surgery to the patients is not himsa, it is ahimsa. Likewise, those sacrifices are also considered as ahimsa for the benefit of that atma in that body to gain a better life next. The reason that in the world we see a lot of violence is simply because lack of knowledge. Therefore, it is important that we distribute the real knowledge that is said in Bhagavad Gita to anyone and everyone that we come in contact with. By sharing this knowledge to others, we are enlightening them. When they become enlightened, they become a sane person where they do not perform any violent activity, neither to others nor to themselves. This sloka has 9 qualities. We have covered 3 out of 9. Amānitvam, adambhitvam, ahiṁsā. Amānitvam is to be humble, not to insult others, considering any of the factors that can drive one to become arrogant. Adambhitvam, practicing devotional service, practicing dharma, not for the sake of gaining name, fame, or prestige among the society. And the third one, ahiṁsā, is to give up the tendency of wanting to hurt others by certain action, either through mind, word, or physical activity. As we learn these qualities, let's try to contemplate within ourselves to see to what degree do we have these qualities, and work from that point onwards to apply these things as Krishna wanted us to practice in our life. Again, let's be very clear that these qualities are something that we need to aspire to acquire and develop. If we are not having that urge to acquire and develop these qualities, what it implies is we are not serious in our spiritual practices. Krishna consciousness is not our primary focus. As we said earlier at the beginning of today's session, whatever we have learned so far in this chapter 13, prior to this sloka, most of them are theories. It's accumulation of information. But here are the practical things which we can learn and practice. Whereas the previous ones are to learn, but we cannot practice much of what we learned in the previous sloka. But here are the practical things that we should apply in our life consciously. With that said, let's continue with the rest of the qualities in our next session.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.